Say start, and we'll wait for everything to show up. And let's see, I'm on the correct audio input. Yes, so that's good. Let's go ahead and make sure all this looks good. Okay, I got a green light there. And let's see here. And we got a green light, but no, what do you call it yet? So we'll give that a second. And everything looks good here. And I clearly, for once, remembered to mute my phone. Hooray, that I remembered to do something correctly. Okay, so let's see. Yep, because there's the alerts, but my phone didn't start screaming. Okay, now I see that. So let's jump over to this. Oh, that one's active. We'll go ahead and activate that. Perfect. And wait, which one is that one? Oh, that's live. Okay, and then I got to jump over to here. All right, give that a minute. Live chat, I've got a green on there, so let's check that one real quick. I don't know why it opened two tabs, but sorry, I already selected that one. Never mind. This one. Okay, I don't know why that's showing up under the shorts category. It really shouldn't be, but that's okay. All right, so let me hit the button and see if I hear anything. I heard something. That's a good sign. So that means that I can jump over to here and we can verify that we are seeing this. So I will make this visible. And, I have to stack these windows. Bear with me one moment, please. One moment. All right, so let's test this one first. So this will be test one. And let me hit enter. And we see it, so that one is good. This window can be closed. Thank you very much. And then I need to come over here, and this would be... I have to refresh this window. This window timed out on me for some reason. I don't know why. There it is. Okay. Go to live chat, and we will say test 2, and we'll hit enter. And we're good. So we can close that and quit there. So then I just need to test the Twitch chat. Test 3. Verify. Yes, indeed. We're good. So now I need to switch to showing the participants so I can see if anybody joins in. Participants are now listed, which means, yeah, that's it, right? Yeah, that should be it. So I can do my intro bit. And that's already, everything's set up. I'm showing volume on the Walkman. So the background audio is good. I just don't remember if I have the orientation correct on this. I want to say I don't. Hold on. I did not. There we go. Now it's correct. Yeah, I thought that was the one thing. Okay, you can see this. It's blank. Yep, but it's there. All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm doing something a little different this evening. I am going to... where am I? Okay, here it is. I should have kept this open. I got to move this window over. I'm creating a little... This is just purely for me. I'm just doing something simple and easy and lightweight, which is I'm going to draw a Christmas ornament. Just a simple background ornament. This is not going to be really, really detailed or, crazy. Here it is, just a simple ball ornament or a round globe or whatever you want to call it. Very, very easy. All right, there we go. So I'm just, I really don't even need to look at one, but it's just because I can never get the little hanger thingy right on these, so I like to look at that. Okay, so this is going to be very, very easy. It's going to be a nice, probably a little bit of a shorter. Oh, maybe I'll do a couple. Maybe. Let's just start with the most simplistic possible ornament you could ever do, which is the ball ornament, the round ornament. Simple as anything. Let's check our size. Way too small for what this. Oh, this is because it's on the. It's not on this. Better. Yep, that's good. All right, so here we go. Real easy. I actually probably already have one of these drawn, but why not? It's the holidays. Let's just do it. So we'll make that, and we'll go ahead and do a circle on there. That's pretty good. That's pretty good size. Okay. So then let's go ahead and let's do a second layer. I mean, this is going to be such an easy thing to draw. This is very, very simple. There's really just nothing to this, which is good because you know what? It doesn't always have to be anything difficult. In fact, ideally, it shouldn't be anything difficult ever. It should always be something that's easy and that you don't have to worry about. Let me just make sure this is centered on my screen. It is now. We'll get the bottom right there. Perfect. Let's go back to that layer 2 and make sure that is layer 2. Yes, it is. And we're going to go ahead and turn on our assist. What was a weird noise? Wait. Oh, somebody has their sprinklers running. Oh, okay. I was like, I heard this weird noise. I didn't know what I was hearing for a minute. And then I just realized, oh, it's a sprinkler sound. Okay. I mean, I guess some people run their sprinklers later at night. Maybe there's a reason to do that, I guess, because it's dark now. So usually, especially at this time of year, you wouldn't think people would be running them at night. But then again, I don't know what people do. Everybody does what they think. That's fine. I don't really care. I just didn't know what I was hearing at first because I'm not used to hearing sprinklers at night. So I was kind of thrown off for a minute. And then I realized that, I'm like, okay, it's a familiar sound, but I don't know what it is. And because it was a sprinkler. Okay. So we'll make that about that size, I want to say. I mean, this is really just not at all important. And then we'll do one more. We're going to go across the top, and then I'll join them. So we'll do that. Okay, I didn't hit the assist. Just keep that straight. Okay, right. So now we're going to center point that. There's my center. And then we're going to go ahead and merge these because these can now be centered. And then we'll join these up. Well, sort of. We'll do that, right? This is so, I mean, like I said, this is the easiest thing you could ever do, especially if you have a digital tablet or any type of digital drawing program. This is very, very simple stuff. Let's go ahead. We're going to change our drawing guide to be symmetry, right? And then make sure, yep, we're mirrored. And then let's go ahead and, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to move this a little down because I want to have a nice curve to this. And then we'll go here, and this is on the assist, and all we're going to do, nothing to it. Oh, okay, something to it. We can't have it like that, but we're just going to curve that like this. And we'll just curve that right in. There's your curved top. Nothing to it, like I said. We'll come here. We'll just go ahead and phase this out. Right like that. There we are. Actually, you know what I should have done if I was smart? If I was smart, is I would do an assist so that I only have to erase this once. There we go, see? And then I'll do the assist erase. See that? Very easy, and that way I don't have to worry about it being uneven. There's the top. So that's our, I don't even know what you call that. It's whatever that is. So now we're going to do another assist. We can turn the assist off on that. We're going to do another assisted layer, right? And this, we're not going to worry about this being really, really specific or anything. I'm going to drop this down. Actually, no, I won't drop that down. I'm going to switch to this. Where are we? Oh, yeah, that's going to be a lot bigger than that. Let's go to, say, well, 15 is probably close to what this is. Yes. So let's go down to 10, right? And then we'll just do a little bit of this. And we'll just do this, and this, and this. And we'll try to, no. I tried. You know what? Actually, let's do more of a patterny thing because I've seen ones that have like a pattern to them. Although I probably should start with the pattern in the center so that it makes sense. So we'll do something like this, right? And then that comes over here, and we'll do another pattern like that. And we'll do another pattern like that. Yeah, that's kind of the ones I'm used to seeing. Although I don't like how the pattern ends. So let's just go ahead and have the pattern go straight off. Make this easier. There it is. And then we can do like a little, again, since I have it, since I can mirror it, just like that. And then we'll just do something like that. Okay, not like that. That looks stupid. Let's do this. Let's do it like this. There we are. See? Nice and easy. Right, so there's the top. So now we have the top of our ornament, which means we can now come to here and we can turn symmetry on again and do an erase. Well, actually, technically, now that I think about it, what it should be, I'm going to do this properly, is I'll do another assist. I'm going to turn this down. I'm going to turn this down, and we need to have it where the actual globe joins up. There's different ways to do this, but I'm going to do it like this. So, okay, well, no, I'm not going to do it like that. I got to have the right brush. There we are. Okay, no. Just sweep that up like that and adjust that right there. See? And now what I'm going to do is come to here and we'll erase again with that transparent so I don't have to worry about doing it twice. And then we'll come to the actual globe. We'll do an assist on that. And we will go ahead and erase that. At least we'll erase it like this or so. Just give that a nice rounded edge so that we understand what it is. It's still got the roundness to it. All right, let's punch that up. Whoop. And let's punch this up. There we are. And we'll just finish erasing this. And there is our globe. Okay, and I've realized that I'm going to just go ahead and erase that because I have an idea of how to make that circular pattern. Okay, so there's the basics of it. Now that the basic part is done, all we have to do is give it a little bit of a, you know, a flourishy thing, which is really just kind of, I don't know. Let's see, how do I want to do this? How do I want to do this particular bit? Let's do, okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to do a new layer with no assist on this time. And what do I want to do for this? Let me look at some examples. Ooh, that's a nice pattern. Let's do something like that. Let's just do a nice, okay, this is going to be a little tricky. Oh, I probably, oh, actually, it's okay like this. It's okay like this. Let's go to this. Yeah. Let's do a nice kind of, there's like a swirl pattern that I'm seeing here, and I kind of like that. So let's just go ahead and we'll create that swirl pattern. And we'll just let that bleed off like that. Okay, I don't like how uneven that looked. See, the problem is, I gotta do, all right, I have to think about this. This is always my problem with swirls, is to get them to look weighted evenly. So, let's try it like this. And then, just come in here. It's better. I don't know, I don't like that now. Looked good when I saw it on the one that's on the screen that I'm looking at, but I don't think I can actually I don't think I can replicate that pattern very well. Ooh, here's a nice one. Hold on, that's really nice. All right, this is again, make things simple. This is just a really nice, okay, just a really nice pattern. Doesn't have to be anything complicated. It just has to have some kind of movement to it. This is really nice. I like this. There's one that's got stuff like this. I want to call it like a Pepsi pattern because it reminds me of the old Pepsi logo. And that's kind of what it looks. I don't think that's the intent. I don't think it's supposed to be like that at all, but it, you know. Actually, I'll do it this side. This is easier. It's easier to get the swoosh right if I do it from that end and then thicken. Ugh, or not. Jeez, I thought it would be easier. It sounded easier when I said it. Oh man, it's a lot worse. I did better the first time. Hey. Wow. Jeez. Yeah, that looks better than anything I just did. Okay. And then we'll do one more at the bottom that just kind of swirls out like that. See? That's just nice and easy. Yeah, I like that. That's it. That's it. That's all you got to do. And then it's just a matter of... of course. That's probably my sister texting me. Because I just asked... no, that's fine. Yeah, that's my sister. Because even though my phone's on silent, there's certain people who get through. My sister's one of them. So, anyway, that's what that was. Okay, so, all right, let's do... Now, I do want to have an inner circle. Pink. And we'll just do something like this. And we'll have to adjust this, but this is going to be an inner circle. All right, and we'll do that. Okay, and it needs to be centered for the globe, which is... No. Actually, you know what? I don't mind it being a little It has to be centered on the one end, but it doesn't have to be centered on the other. That's okay. Yeah, I like that. That's good. Yep. I'm digging that. Okay, so now we got to come back to this. And we'll just grab this to trim that. This is probably on the paintbrush, so I have to be careful. I can use the smaller brush to finish this off. But that's a nice pattern. I like that. And what I'll do is I'll just make a couple of color variations on this, and then it looks like it's a different one. So just easy. It doesn't have to be complicated. This is literally because I don't like to be on camera, because I don't enjoy seeing my face on camera unless I'm doing my movie review stuff. Then I don't mind, and even then I would love it if I could not, but I don't know. It somehow doesn't bother me as much when I'm talking about movies. But like at work, maybe it's because a lot of work meetings, and this should not really be a surprise to anybody who has to go to work meetings, they're not terribly exciting generally. So I don't want it to be very obvious when I'm completely disinterested in things that just aren't interesting, which is many things. So I don't like to be on camera, because then it becomes really clear that you don't care, which sorry, it's just the reality of it. But so I make animated backgrounds, and I have one of my drawings of the spaceman, the cosmonaut. And so now I can, but I put a Santa hat on him, and I have like reindeer in the background with Santa's sleigh, and I want to have like these bulbs kind of floating in space, that type of, just simple, stupid stuff. Ooh, I just found a pattern I really like. Ooh, that's really neat looking. Okay, we're gonna do that one next. That's gonna be next. You can't see it, I know you can't see it, but I just saw one that's great. Okay, but before I do that, I do like the colors on this one. This has got a very interesting color. It's very, very different as far as colors for ornaments. It's kind of, sorry, I almost burped into the mic, which I didn't want to do. It's kind of like a teal. Oh my God, I don't know why I'm suddenly, okay, I think I'm good. Hold on, let me just adjust this. It's kind of, sort of like, it's a little gray, like that. That's it. So that, it's got, let's just do a color layer here. So it's got that as kind of this layer, and then this layer, and then it's using like a nice deep red, like a nice maroony red, almost like a brown red, which I really enjoy. And it's using that for this, and it would be this, and then the background is almost like a cream color, I would say, something like that, yeah. And that's going to be everything else. And then on the top part, we're going to make that, what do I want to make that? I could just make it a standard, I guess I could just make it a standard yellow gold. That's fine. Not everything has to be, breaking out of the standard. There, just a nice gold top. Okay, so let's do this. Let's do a layer here, 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 here. We're going to move this up to underneath there for, come on. Okay, this is one thing. I don't know why it sometimes gets stuck like that, but that's all right. So let's do our base layer, which is going to be this color here. And let's get the big brush. And we're just going to fill that in. Actually, the one that I'm looking at is a little lighter than this, so we'll do an adjustment on this once it's done. But we'll do it first, because honestly, I can just adjust the color once it's in, and it'll be fine. And we'll just get this in here. I should have done asymmetry on that. I didn't, which was dumb of me, but I can just do this. And we'll just keep going here, and we'll just fill this in nice and easy. Okay, and we'll just do this. With a big enough brush, it really doesn't matter if you mirror it, because you're going to fill it eventually anyway, so it's fine. It's fine. Okay, let's pull that back down so it's reasonable. Fill the rest of this just on the edges. Okay. All right, that's good. Let's get these edges here. Did I get that? Yes, I did. Just checking. Okay. See what I mean? Just low effort. Low effort is not always bad. Low effort does not always equal no effort. Low effort is not no effort. Not everything requires your every ounce of talent, especially if it's something like this. It's a background element. You do not have to go insane making things like this. You really don't. There are people, it feels like, that have this philosophy that you have to do everything at 150%. Whoa. All right. Was that a spam thing? No, it's not. It's an actual viewer. Hello. Okay. You're going to have to help me out. Is it Tim Cleanman, or is that just a username? Tim Clean Man. I never know, so I'm asking. But welcome, whatever the case. I'm just drawing a very, very simple ornament with some simple colors. This is not anything too complex. So, this is a lightweight holiday-themed stream where I'm just drawing a background element for a piece of animation. A very lightweight piece of animation that I'm going to be using. And as I say that, I've realized that I'm going to have to... I exported the version without the ornaments earlier today, and it took about an hour. So that's what I'm going to be doing first thing tomorrow, is I got to insert these elements, re-export it. You know, I don't know why I do these things to myself. Let me change the background to be bright pink. And then turn this off so I can see. Let's see. Just Tim. Wow. Somebody rated me? No kidding. Well, thank you, Cosmic. I've never had anybody rate me before. I am an extremely... Tim, I'm just going to give you a heads up because I don't BS people. This is just a thing I do for fun. So I don't ever... the idea that anybody would ever raid me ever, I would never have guessed that would ever happen, because I just sit here and doodle. That's all this channel is. I don't have any magical effects. I don't have it monetized. It's just because there are people who followed me as an artist for a while who said, oh, you should do an art stream. And that's why I do it. So I don't have any of the fancy stuff that a lot of channels do. I'm not on camera because I don't think there's anything interesting about looking at me. I just do this. I just doodle stupid stuff. This admittedly is one of the more simplified things. Here, I'll show you something. This is what I did on the last stream. This is actually going to be a painting I'm going to do. I've started this painting in real life. I've painted the red background in acrylic, and I'm going to tape off this triangle. Then I'm going to do a black layer. And then I'm going to paint, and that's going to be in acrylic. And then in oil, I'm going to do the rest of the detail stuff. Well, no, I shouldn't say the rest. Then I'm going to do this bottom part for the lighting and the clouds. And then once all that dries, then I'm going to come in, and all these buildings, they're going to look a lot nicer than this. This is just like a sketchy version. And the lightning, all that's going to be done with acrylic pen. So it's really going to be probably... Let's think. Okay. The acrylic will be dry by this weekend. So that's going to be pretty easy. The oil takes 2 weeks at least to dry. So I'm going to have to wait a couple weeks, probably more like 3 weeks. And then I'm going to put in the acrylic parts. That stuff dries quick. That'll do inside. But I have to do the oil and everything else. That just, that takes a long time to dry. So this is going to be a multi-stage piece. This was actually what I doodled in the last stream. So let's see. What else is there? What else is there? If you want to see some examples of stuff, I recently did this Power Glove illustration for a website called Digital Foundry, where they do tech reviews of video games, video game hardware, that type of stuff. And they have an award show for the end of the year. I think it's going to be in a week or two where they're going to announce it. And they needed a piece of art. This is just the Power Glove. I also did the background, but I didn't do it on here. So I don't think, I don't have that actual piece of art on here. Otherwise I could show you the rest. But I did the Power Glove. So that's the Power Glove, the Nintendo Power Glove. Let's see. What else? This was something I did for Halloween for somebody who was doing a Dungeons & Dragons campaign. And I just did a kind of illustration of the character that he was dressed up as for that campaign. What else? Let's see. Well, this was part of the Halloween. This is just a background element, but I like it, so I kept it separate. It's just like a fiery ring of something. I don't know what. It's something. And then this here is the sheep alien from Alien Earth. Yeah, no, I thought it did a really good job. I mean, it was more detailed than this, but yeah. So you see, they got the 20-sided dice and everything, and he doesn't have orange eyes, so that was the only thing with that. Okay, all right. So back to it. So this is just like a simple background element that's going to be floating. So like I said, it's just a simple Christmas ornament that there's not much to it because it's the holidays, so low stress. This is designed to almost be I think some people have said that they've they've started watching the stream and fallen asleep, which is fine. I don't get insulted by that. I think some people would be insulted by that. I'm not. There's a place for that. You have to have stuff that just relaxes you sometimes. I haven't done what I should do, and maybe I will do it because I'm going to be doing a few more streams while I'm off work for the holidays. What I probably will do is I haven't done a stream for kids in a while where I did something that was for kids to be able to draw along to, and I'll probably do that because that was something I did a few times early on. I am from Northern California, where the idea of winter is laughable because it never gets cold here. At least it never gets as cold as you would think it would for winter. So I grew up in New York and I was used to snow and actual winter weather. I haven't had that in a long time. I do miss it. I miss snow. Snow to me is winter. Although saying that, it has been the wintriest, if that's a word, it probably isn't. It has been the most wintry, that's better, that it's been in a long time because it's been cloudy and slightly colder for a good 3 weeks now. So it does somewhat feel like Christmas time. West USA, yeah. Yeah. Really, you could tell that? Do I sound like I'm from California now? Have I lived out here long enough that now I sound like I'm from here? That's kind of depressing in a way. But I guess, yeah, maybe. Then again, I'm a weird art person, so maybe I always kind of vaguely sounded like I was Californian. Because I've always been a bit of a space cadet, so I suppose in that way, I shouldn't be surprised. I mean, obviously well, I shouldn't say obviously, but it would be a pretty safe guess to say I was in the U.S. as opposed to in a European country where I might have a non-American accent. But I really shouldn't say that because for all anybody knows, I just do a really good English accent. I don't. I'm not pretending. Ah, got it. Yeah, I actually, that's one of the reasons, that's one of the things I want to do while I'm off of work. I want to do streams that are in different times than I usually do because I know a lot of people are in different countries and the time zones are really hard to account for. So I kind of feel bad because I've had people say, hey, I would stop by your stream, but, it's on at 3 a.m. and I have to, work. And so I'm asleep. And unfortunately, that's the problem with how different the time zones can be. Particularly in I think Britain is 8 hours or 9 hours ahead of where we are. So it's tough. It's tough for anybody who tries to do this stuff is to try to get the time zones right. And I know I think there is kind of a central, I don't know if Greenwich Mean is considered this, or UTC, I don't remember, is considered kind of the central of the entire planet time zone. So that might be easier for somebody who's in that time zone to kind of split the difference. But I ain't there. 4 a.m. Oh my God, 4 a.m. Wait a minute. It's 4 a.m. So where you are, it's 4 a.m. Well, yeah, then you're further. No, wait, 4 a.m. Hold on. 4 a.m. is 6, that's 10 hours. No, it's not quite 10 hours. That's 9 hours and some odd minutes from now. So you would have to be further east than that. Because if you're not in Britain, I believe is... Hold on a minute. Let's see. This is fun for me. May not be fun for everybody else. Let's take a look. Let's look at London time zone. Let's take a look here. Oh, yeah, because it's only 2:40. Yeah, so I was kind of right. So 8 hours. So you are further east then, I would guess. You don't have to say where you're from if you don't want to. This is me just talking out loud. But that would be my guess, is that you're further east Yeah, you'd have to be, because if you were further west, you would be, what's the word for it? You'd be behind the time where I am. Not, I mean, you'd have to be really far. Yeah, at that point, you might as well just go either direction if you're going to be that far in one way or another. Oh, okay. Germany. All right, sure. Yeah. That's what I mean. Look, I'm just going to admit right up front, Tim. I'm just going to tell you right now. I am a real dummy when it comes to geography. Even in this country, I barely know where anything is. Forget the rest of the world. I know where certain countries are. But honestly, if you were to give me a globe and say, okay, we'll give you $1 million if you can identify correctly, I don't know, 20 random countries besides outside the US and Canada, right? Even South America. I couldn't tell you where anything in South America is. I'm terrible at it. Terrible at it. I was one of those morons who spent my younger years memorizing things from comic books as opposed to things like geography that might actually be useful. So I can tell you with a high degree of embarrassing detail, I could describe to you the different versions of the Incredible Hulk that I grew up reading. Why, for me, I read a version where he was green, where he was gray, where he was green without intelligence, where he was green with intelligence, where he was green as a separate being from Bruce Banner, who then had to be reintegrated with Bruce Banner because they were going to die without each other. I can tell you all that stuff. Real easy. But if you were to ask me to identify where, say, okay, no exaggeration, I'm just being honest, I would not be able to tell you. Well, number one, I wouldn't probably even get the locations of Iran or Iraq correctly. But even if I knew roughly where they were, I wouldn't be able to identify them correctly. Not Egypt, not Berlin, not Germany. I know about Italy because I'm Italian and my father came from Italy, so I know Italy. Plus, it looks like a boot, so it's kind of a cheat. It's easy. But I'm an idiot. I didn't pay attention to that stuff in school. It bored me to pieces. It just did. So I spent my time reading comic books like a dope. So now, as an adult, if somebody were to ask me to identify countries, I don't know where anything is, except for the kind of easy stuff, Australia, Japan, because they're not. Japan is a series of islands, but they're all separated. Like they're not part of something. But even the middle of the United States, I've lived here my whole life. I couldn't tell you where. I sort of know where Oklahoma is. One of them looks like a pointing finger. I couldn't tell you which one. Idaho and Iowa. I think Idaho's the one that's kind of skinny on the top like a chimney. I think. I'm a moron. So that's why I went to art school. Because I could draw my way out of being dumb. You know? It's just true. Molto bene. E tu? See? Come stai stasera? Well, wait a minute. No, for you, it would be come stai stamattina because it's 4 a.m. So, yeah, I used to be very fluent in Italian because my father's parents didn't speak English. So when I was very young, I could speak in fluent Italian. And then, unfortunately, they died pretty young. And my father didn't really have anybody to speak Italian with anymore, and he kind of stopped speaking it as much, which means I stopped speaking it as much. I've relearned it in recent years. I've wanted to kind of get back to knowing it, but I'm definitely a lot better at reading than I am at speaking it. That's just the simplicity of it. I can read very well. Speaking fluently, I will get tripped up on things simply because I don't know every single word like I should. So there's still things I get tripped up there. But reading wise, I can read Italian. Like I could read a Italian comic book and I would understand it. That stuff I'm good at. Speaking it, I'm getting better at understanding people who talk quickly. They talk slowly enough, I get it. But which I'm happy about because it's nice to. And the other thing is too, once you know knowing enough Italian, you start to kind of pick up Spanish by proxy. Not that it's not all the same, but there's a lot of Spanish now that I can just understand. Why is no Italian in your caption? Why is there no Italian in your caption? That's a great question. I don't know. Yeah, there should be, shouldn't there? I guess I never really thought about it. I never, you know why? I'll tell you, the thing about, and I don't know if everybody in America is like this, but certainly I feel like this is the case for me. We don't treat being bilingual here as something important. It's kind of a hobby as opposed to something that's actually really valuable. You're just not raised to, if you grow up in this country and you're in the American education system, not from coming from somewhere else where you understand the importance of speaking other languages, but they didn't really stress taking a language when I was younger. You generally have to take 1 or 2, not even years, but you take 1 or 2, I guess, semesters of it, and then that's all they care about. They don't really pursue it. They don't make it a big deal. So I don't really think about it. I still have that kind of attitude toward it where it's like, oh, it's a neat thing I know how to do, but not really the value of it. I mean, there is for me because I miss being able to speak it from being younger, but it should be more important to me. It should be more important to most people here is, you know, being able to speak another language and having that understanding, but it just isn't. Unfortunately, it's just not something, because we're so used to everybody speaking English. When you go to other countries, there's so many other countries where the people there know how to speak English, and we sort of just take it for granted, which is it's a shame. I don't think it's a good thing. Let's put it that way. Oh, well, here we go. We have our first dopey spammer. So let's go ahead and delete that message. There we go. Possible ban evader. Ooh, a possible ban evader. Ain't that fancy? Wow. Huh. Figures. There's always one of those people or bots that shows up. Always. It's so stupid. Okay, so let's do this. Let's go here. Let's get the black pen. That's the wrong pen. Let's get this pen. Let's do this really quick. I'm going to drop that opacity down. I'm going to drop this opacity down. Oh no, I need the inner ring. Drop that down, right? Let's turn the colors off for a minute because we don't need them for the moment. And let's round this stuff out. Let's round these shapes out. Oh, I'm on the wrong layer. Is that this one? I'll be able to tell in a second. That's it. So I need this one. Let's just round this shape out like that. Yeah. Except that went a little over more than I wanted it to. So let's fix that. I'm just going to round these out like that. There we are. Because I think that's just going to look a little nicer. So let's go ahead and with this one, well, actually, no, I'm not going to round it out. No, I don't think there's really any value to that. Let's just stick with what we got. It's fine. Okay, put the colors back on. But what we will do is we will put a little bit of a shine on this. Just some very simple kind of highlighting. So let's grab some white. Let's get the airbrush, I think. Pardon me. Airbrush, 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 airbrush. Let's grab the soft brush. Yeah, that's good. And let's go ahead and just do something like this. And we'll try to round that out a bit. And we'll just keep layering this on. All right. Just try to kind of bleed that in. Right, not that last one. Put a little bit more down here. Just layer that in. Okay, and then what we'll do is we'll do a little bit of a shadow going on the other side. So let's grab black. Let's put this here, and let's do this. Just do something. No, that's too much. Let's just sweep this across the bottom in kind of an arc, right? And then what we'll do is Let's see if we can really lighten this. Oh, not like that. Hold on. You know what I should have done? I should have done it really softly at first. It's still too much. Hold on. See, it's tricky to go really light for me. Yeah, something like that. Just easy going. Try to build this in just a bit. Just kind of lay this in. Go a little bit darker as we go. Ooh, wait a minute. Nope. You know what I just thought of? Hold on a second. Instead of doing that, no. Just not alpha lock, clear. Let me grab a different brush. I have all these interesting brushes down here. What do I have? What do I want to use for... Whoa. Smoky quartz. Oh, that's a good texture. Hold on a minute. Let's go ahead and just give this thing a pattern. Right? Oh, well, I should have started with it zoomed out. This is just going to be the pattern. This is going to give this a nice kind of texture to... Actually, no. Sorry. I'm out of my mind. What am I doing? Where's the... I got to use my stained glass thing for this. Where is the water effect? Sorry, I'm just losing my mind here because I just thought of that would make it look like a glass. There it is. Water. Okay. I'm just going to do this. And this is going to look like garbage for a minute, but you'll see what I'm doing in a second. So that's... Right? Got that effect. Now we're going to take the liquefy element. There we are. And we're going to make this into kind of a glass effect just by swirling this. See that? What that does is it makes it look like it's like blown glass or something like that. You're just swirling these glass effects in. You just kind of keep working at it and get it where you want it. Just work in from the outside and you just kind of automatically start to create a glass effect. Just like that. Right? Now, you probably don't want to have it that heavy. So you kind of do something like that. Now, you could also do an inverse. Ooh, that might be nicer. Hold on. That might be a better effect. You know what? That's a better effect. Now, there's one other possibility. There's one other thing we can try, which is this. And we can change it to a color. So something like, oh, I don't know, that. Right? Turn that off. Do the same thing. Oh, I didn't change the color. Sorry. Okay. No, wait. It should be something like this, but darker. Like that. Okay. Same thing. Just do that. All right? Okay. And then do the liquefy again. And again, start to swirl, and let's see which one we like better. I don't know if one is really going to be any better than the other. Might not. It might just work as... Might be fine with the white. That's a little more subtle. I don't know if it's better, though. Oh, that's definitely not better. I don't know. What do you think? I kind of think that's better. Let's change the background color just so I can see the edges. I think that's better for this than this. Actually, having both of them on is interesting. Let's go to this. Hold on. This might be a question of color. Ooh, yeah, maybe. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I gotta cut the opacity down a bit. Make it background. That's not bad. I'm okay with that. All right, let's try that. So let's get rid of the edges off of here. So we'll just take our big brush, and we have to get rid of... Actually, let's do this. We got to get rid of the stuff that shouldn't be here. Well, what's going to be that too? That's metal, so it shouldn't be in there. That would be a metal if it's anything. We'll get to that in a minute. Don't worry, I won't forget about that. We will get to that in a second. I'm still really kind of amazed that somebody rated this channel. I have to admit, that is still kind of blowing my mind a bit. Because I'm 99% sure that's never happened before. So, all right, let's take all this out. Oh, I forgot. Somebody pointed out a technique that I've never tried in Procreate before of how to fill an area. Actually, I'm going to try it. I'm just curious. If I take this think they did something like this and just dragged it in. Yeah, see, it did. I gotta see how they did it. I don't know how they did it, but they did something really interesting as far as how to quickly fill an area. So I probably should figure out how they did it and do that, because it was neat looking. Oh, I missed the spot. Let's jump in here. That happens. There we go. Okay, back to here, here. Where am I at? Wow, 45 minutes. I did not think this was going to take that long. Every single time I do a stream, I have the same exact thing. Oh, this is not going to take that long. Sure enough, before I even blink, it's been 45 minutes. I mean, at some point, I'm going to learn that I clearly have no real concept of how long things take. Because this is the running gag of this channel. Is either it takes me 20 minutes to get it running, to get it up and going, or I think it's going to be a 20-minute thing, and then it's 40-something minutes later. Every single time, and I've done a few of these by now, where you would think that I would have figured it out. Nope. Have not figured it out. But because of that, you know what? I only really wanted to do one ornament anyway, so this I've kind of accidentally done exactly what I wanted to do. So that's not a bad thing. So let's just go in here and thread this through. Get rid of all this. And I gotta do the same thing for that other layer. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna change the color of the background. Sorry, the background of the globe colors, and make a few versions of it. And then I can have a couple, I only need 3 for what I'm doing. 3 different ones that kind of float around the background and just drift through, and that'll be fine. That'll work. That will work very well, as a matter of fact. So, yeah, let's do this. Okay. All right, good. Now we got to do, so that's, yeah, I don't mind that at all. Now we're going to do this one. So for that, it's probably easier to do white. See, now I can see it. We'll go to that layer, and we're going to do the exact same thing as far as we'll erase the outside edges of this, get it nice and close in, whoop, slice right across the top of that, dip in, come over, slice through, do all the outer sides, outer edges. Oh, did I go too far? Nope, just barely managed to keep it inside the line. When I'm using this big eraser brush, it's real easy for me to accidentally dip inside, but I did okay. All right, bring this down to, let's say, 10. Just go through here. And then I'll show you what I'm talking about as far as the easy way to make several versions of this without having to redo it a bunch of times. It's actually pretty simple. I'm fairly sure that any of you who've used an art program already know what I'm talking about, so I apologize if this is art stuff 101 for you. Again, there's no way for me to know how much knowledge anybody who goes to these streams actually has, so it's good to just assume that there's people who are advanced and people who aren't, like so many things. Or people who just, you know what, advanced isn't even the right word. There are people who are very experienced artists and they encounter something new, not because the person who shows them this new way to do something is quote unquote better, but just because they do it in a different way. So advanced or starting out really doesn't even mean anything. It really doesn't. Skill level in art is kind of a stupid concept. You know, you don't hold yourself to anybody else's standard for artwork. You should do the things that you enjoy, make the things that make you smile, that bring joy to other people. That's all art should be. As far as whether your skills are as good as somebody else that you see online somewhere, that stuff doesn't matter. Really doesn't matter as long as you're creating and having fun, and that's it. That's really what matters. Everything else is just people wanting to box themselves into something, but it really doesn't help anything. can be the most gifted, advanced. I've put 30,000 hours of talent into something. But the reality is, if there's nothing of yourself in that artwork and there's no fun in it and there's no joy in it, then what was the point? Really, what was the point? You know? Just doesn't matter. Okay. Let's see here. So, there we go. Let's turn the background off. There's our on the image, it's probably going to be about that big. So that's what I mean, is it really doesn't have to be all that complicated. So let's turn our other background on. Yeah, that'll look good. See? Yeah, that looks good. I think it's better with white. I don't think... Yeah, I think white's going to be better. I think that looks nicer. So let's go ahead and do a quick export of a ping file of that. Save. Thank you. Now, let's shift some colors. So we'll take this, and we'll just move it like that. And then we'll take this one, and let's see if we move it the same way. Oh, yeah. That's good. And then we probably want to shift this a bit. Kind of match what's back. There we go. Perfect. See? Didn't have to change anything else. You know what? I will change this a bit just to make it look like... Let's just do a darker version. There we are. See? Very, very simple. 2-second adjustment. And now I have a second ornament. Bang. Save. And then we'll do one more. So we'll do one more. We'll do a... let's see. Let's do like a blue. There's a nice... There's a good blue. And then let's take this and let's move this into... oh, wait a minute. Purple. No, I did purple already. I need something other than purple. Like, is there an orange in here, maybe? Let's see. Let's see if I can get like an orangey color. Oh, yeah, there we go. There we go. Yep. That's good. I'm going to leave the top the same. That's okay. And let's go ahead and export that. And now I've just very quickly created 3 simple Christmas ornaments. And there we go. And on that note, I'm going to bring this stream to a close because I thought it was only going to be a 45-minute stream. And here we are at 53 minutes. So that is a perfect point to do this and bring this stream to a close. Well, I appreciate that X-Cosmic Void sent a raid my way. Thank you, X-Cosmic Void. Appreciate it. Very nice of you. And I want to thank everybody who may have stopped by, even if you didn't say anything. That's okay. You don't have to say anything. I think people sometimes feel like they have to talk when they're in a stream and say hello. You don't. If you're just hanging out, you're in and out, that's fine. Not a problem at all. Nothing bothers me with that stuff. So I just appreciate people coming by at all, whether it's by a raid or by accident. So thank you for coming by and hanging out for a while. And let's see. There will be another... Wait, yes, there will be another stream before... Well, whatever holidays you celebrate. I know there's a bunch around right now. So there's going to be another holiday. There's going to be another stream a week from today. And probably one... oh, no, maybe it won't be a week from today. What's a week from today? Is the 22nd? Okay, so yes, there will be one a week from today. I might do one... It will be after Christmas, that's for sure. Maybe on like the Friday or something like that. There'll be a couple more. There'll be a couple more in the next few weeks. So there will be some more streams. And yeah. But if you don't make one of the ones in the future, if this is the stream that you catch before the holidays, have a great holiday. Hopefully people are getting some vacation time, some time off from school or from work or from whatever. So enjoy your holidays. Spend them with people you care about. Have a good time. Relax. Enjoy this time of year. I really do love this time of year. It's great. So, and if you're looking for something just to spread a little bit of extra holiday joy, consider supporting a creator that you appreciate. I'm not talking about me. I'm doing fine. But there are a lot of creators, especially this time of year where people have to buy gifts, you know, end of the year bills, that type of thing. There are lots of creators out there who are barely making it as purely as creators. And so if you can do something to help those people out, and it doesn't have to be monetary. If you can afford to give people money, sure, but it doesn't have to be that. It could be as simple as sending them an appreciation note, something I have to do for the guests on my show for this year, which I will be doing. It could be reposting their work or following them on a platform that they're on. Any of that stuff. All that stuff matters. All that stuff matters. It matters way more than you think. Way more. We tend to underappreciate the power of just saying something nice to somebody. So take the time to, oh no, you're all right? As long as you're okay, that's fine. Don't be sorry. Hey, I'm sorry you broke a bottle. That's all right. I was just signing off anyway, so don't worry about it. I was just telling people that they should reach out to somebody whose work they appreciate for this year and tell them that you appreciate it, because the end of the year for some people isn't the greatest time of the year. You know, some people get really depressed around this time. So again, just sending somebody a note saying, hey, I really like your work, or following them on whatever channel they're on or anything, you might do a lot more good for that person than you think, because you might not know what they're going through, but that note could arrive when they're having a really bad day. You just don't ever know. Those things matter. So I would encourage you to do something for a creator that you appreciate. Just do something. Doesn't have to be anything big, but just do something. But again, if you're not going to catch another stream before the holidays are out, have a great holiday. Thanks again for being here. And on that note, I'm going to wrap things up because now I'm just babbling. Yes, when I feel all the machine engineering is down in Germany. Oh, well, that sucks. I'm sorry to hear that, Tim. Yeah, that's what I mean. That's why I try to encourage people, because I think a lot of people, they feel like if they can't like donate money to creators or people whose work they like, they feel like that they shouldn't do anything. And I say, no, still tell somebody that you appreciate their work. It doesn't have to be money involved. Just, try to lift people up where you can. I mean, especially this time of year, but honestly, we should do that all year. That should be something we all aim for, is to try to lift each other up, because the reality is most people are going to have some downtime in their life. All of us end up there for one reason or another, whatever it is. So the more of us that try to endeavor to keep other people up, the better. Hey, Tim, thank you for coming by. I really appreciate it. Have a good night. And for everybody else, whether you're watching this live or whether you're watching this later, it doesn't matter to me. I appreciate you coming by. And on that note, have a wonderful holiday, or a wonderful rest of your day or afternoon or morning or whatever it is. And until next time, thanks for being here and take care.